What's going on? What's going on, man? This is Dad checking in with that Dad podcast. This one right here is a special one. I actually never even got to meet this dude, but it's crazy that our paths, we walk the same paths, man. We graduate the same middle school. Years later, graduate from the same high school. And I gotta big him up because a lot of times someone goes on and they leave their middle school and they forget where they came from. But this dude's not that kind of person, man. He's back there going back to talk to his kids at San Miguel. He's showing them what inspiration is like. He's showing them like you could be a role model from your city. He's showing them that there's so many people from Providence who are doing great things, and they ain't waiting for somebody to ask for the invitation. They're opening that invitation and going back and talking to their kids. I know for a fact a lot of kids see these guys on TV, whether it be MMA, boxing, WWE, and they think it's easy to make it out. And they think, oh, this guy made it, I can make it. But this person right here is a living example. You follow his shoes. He came from your school. He came from your city. He came from the same path you did. He was in Kennedy Plaza just like a lot of these kids had to do to get to school probably. So he's walking, spitting an image of what it takes to get out. Our high school may not be there no more, but I mean, Textron Chambers, man, I know a lot of people that had dreams and visions of saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then they realized how hard it took to get there. They gave up on that dream. So they started chasing other dreams. So, man, Victor never stopped doing that, man. I'm proud to see that he's a Miguel man. He also graduated from the same high school, and he's from Providence. And now just, talking off edge, and now I see that, he's giving back even where he's working nonstop, grinding nonstop. We need more people like this, more young people like this, more people of color like this, more people of different backgrounds like this who are giving back in a face of positivity, a face of change. So what's going on, Vic, man? Welcome.
Thank you, man. Happy to be here. Thanks for the love, man. And man, I just think back, at my life, and I'm able to relate to these kids because I've been in the same shoes, I had to overcome a lot of obstacles. I wasn't born here in the United States. I was born in Dominican Republic. I came at an early age. I had to learn English, second language. So, I was just a little delayed with everything, Everybody had to start on everything, and I was just kind of behind the ball, still, trying to catch on, So, San Miguel played a big role in my life, and I feel like that's what really makes the big separation between, me and the other kids who I grew up with, Like one of the things is that when I went back to the school, I was talking to the kids about I used to hate this, man. I remember the follow. It was something simple too. She was like, "Oh, I want you guys to write a paragraph." 5th grade, write a paragraph on goals. And I wasn't having it, man. Goals for what?
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, 5 years, yeah.
Like you don't really care where I see myself in 5 years. Why do you care? As a because I was a rebellious young kid, but I guess it's coming from nothing. I was very ambitious and I wanted what I didn't have and what my mom couldn't provide for me, every kid, especially at that age, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, you're worried about shoes, about clothes,
about girls,
I got a funny story for you too. So I was driving by the old San Miguel school, which is on Carter Street, right?
Oh yeah, 12 Carter.
Yeah. And then my aunt, my mom's best friend, I consider her to be my aunt because when we came here, we would always see them and hang out with them, and there was just like a family vibe. Driving by the school by San Miguel, and my mom was like, "Hey, you see this little school right here? What do you think about this school? It's an all boys school." As soon as I heard that,
nah,
in and out, I was like, "Mom, there's no way I'm coming here." Little did I know that the following year, that's exactly where it went, man.
Yeah, so when I went there 5th to 8th, I had a chance to go to Hendricken, and I was like, I just did 4 years. I'm not doing another 4. I couldn't do 8 years. There was no way.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I ended up I went over to LaSalle. So I was at LaSalle for 3 years. And then stuff happened at LaSalle, so I ended up leaving LaSalle. That's how I ended up at Chambers.
Yeah.
And it was a shell shock going from LaSalle, from San Miguel to LaSalle to Chambers. And at Chambers, there was only like 15 kids in our class, but they all been together for the last 3 years. So
I know.
trying to adjust and get caught up. And what actually helped me at Chambers was they had a program, Brother to Brother, and
Oh
then we
yeah,
started,
I was in that program too, man.
yeah,
Brother,
yeah, we
brother.
started doing that. And then having an internship over there kind of gave you a better idea what you wanted to do. So I like what Chambers did being that small group. I just felt like I drive better with a group like that, a smaller size.
Yeah, and you know what? Talking about brother, brother. There was this cat Felix.
Oh, Lewis.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
actually.
Rockstar.
Yeah, Rockstar. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember him because I guess at the time he was in MMA, and he was one of the
Mm-hmm.
dudes who came and chopped it up with us, you know.
Yeah.
And he was just giving back. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
he had just commented, you know, on one of the pictures I posted when I was at San Miguel, but is because we had these role models and we had these people that gave back to us, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
motivated me to, you know, as a kid to always look out for the next, you know, because I had someone who looked out for me too, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
He's coaching
although,
at
like,
LaSalle now.
what was that?
He's a coach at LaSalle now. He coaches wrestling.
Oh, word? That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. But I mean, me and him never really interacted like that at Chambers, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a visual, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That could go a long way, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of times it's not what you do for somebody. Sometimes it's just what you say at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's like my son's only 9. My son's 9. He does mixed martial. He does doing martial arts, and he just got a black belt at 9. And a bunch of his friends quit, but I kept telling me, "There's no way you're quitting. You keep on going with it." And then when he took his belt test, it was him and 4 of his friends. All 4 failed, but he passed. And
Yeah.
the first thing he did when he found out his friends failed, he wasn't happy he passed. He was more sad that his friends didn't pass. And that's when I realized he's not ready for mixed martial arts because you gotta have a different mindset. You gotta have a different mentality. Like he
Yeah.
just wants to help everybody, but I'm like, he's still not. You gotta have that mindset that either you eat or I mean, you can't share all the time. Sometimes you gotta be that hungry one.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when when you get that hunger? Because I see your fights, man. I try checking you out, man. You just want to knock out everything in sight. 'Cause I told you, man, you seem like this, like the nicest man in the world, and you put that armor on, and it's a different person. Where's that come from?
I don't know, man. Ever since I was young, I was just always into martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say every time, man, I used to love watching Dragon Ball Z and DR. And then sometimes I couldn't even finish my episodes because the light would go.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I just have a lot of ambition, and I have a lot of fire in me. I don't know. It was tough for us. I grew up in a broken family structure. It was just with my mom working 2 jobs, raising my sister and and I struggled a lot and I wanted more.
What's up?
Oh, what's up, man?
Hi.
How you doing? How you doing?
Good.
He's still shy. He's still shy.
Gotta go. But yeah, wanted more, and I used to have a lot of energy, man. As a kid, I wasn't a bad kid, man. I just had a lot of energy, and I just find myself at the green bench. That's never go.
Green bench, yeah.
Doing something silly, and
Now, did you have Sister Mary Ellen?
Sister Mariella, no.
Oh,
no,
she must have been right after, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that green bench very well.
Yeah, man, and it was crazy too because after serving that bid, the hour and a half,
It felt like forever.
I had to take 2 buses to get home. So like
Oh.
it wasn't over yet, And sometimes the bus after a certain time it wouldn't come every 15 half an hour. I'll come
Mm-hmm.
every hour, you know. So I'll be over there at the bus stop by myself, waiting a whole
So
hour for the bus to come, and then the ride to KP. It wasn't fun, and then at
mm,
KP, I had to get on bus 19, 27,
yeah.
17, or 28.
Mm.
So and then sometimes it'll be cold, and I'll be looking left and right. I wouldn't even stand at the bus stop. I stay in the middle.
Yeah. The hub.
So the first one that comes, I'm just out,
So you was in what, the Oneyville area?
yeah.
Yep.
The Oneville area. So I started boxing at the Nicholson house
Okay, yeah, all right.
right down the street. So there, that's how I was give back because my mom, she wasn't able to afford, $35 for
Mm.
the boxing gym. Her primary agenda was just putting food on the table, make sure she had clothes in our bags, shoes, and all our school supplies. We didn't really have extra money for extra curricular activities.
Mm-hmm.
The trainer at, at the Nicholson house, he never charged us, Mr. Brown. He looked out for me, so that played a big role in my life because it kept me out the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I had a place where I could go to right after school, at the boxing gym, and then I'll be at the boxing gym for hours, man. I'll get there at 3 o'clock, 3:30, and then I'll do my boxing, and then whenever I was done with my boxing, everybody was just it was connected to a gym, indoor and in the gym it had an indoor basketball.
Okay.
So we'll be in there playing dodgeball or basketball. So
Yeah.
I did
It's
more than
cool.
boxing there, so it was dope.
I had a dude on yesterday. His podcast gonna be out on Thursday, and he bought a whole street in Providence, right by the car wash. And he used to go to Nixon House, and he's changing that whole area around. And it's called
Oh, but car wash, which is the car wash is right by in the plaza in the outer zone plaza, that little car wash right there.
no, the one that's right when you get into Oneyville by the church.
Okay,
Yeah,
I know.
right across the street from there. He
So
bought
Fred.
that whole street,
Okay.
and he's making that a whole little I'll send you the link after. He's turning it into a whole complex for the kids can go in there. They can work out. They can have basketball in there. They're gonna have a STEM, so they can work on their homework. They can do podcasts in there, and it's all about just giving back. And he had the money to do it, so he just bought the whole street. I'm like, yeah, I want to give back. So I go talk to kids. You want to give back? You buy in the street, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
it's all a
go.
matter of linking up and doing whatever way you can.
Yeah, definitely because I know from first-hand experience, sometimes you don't have the extra funds to be able to,
Mm-hmm.
participate in these after-school activities, and talking about after-school activities and about homework and stuff. Scholars Club
Mm.
at San Miguel, man, that kept my mind sharp because I'm grateful that I did that now, but at the moment, I was trying to leave. As soon as school was over, I was trying to go.
Definitely. Like with me, it was tough because I was playing football, and I was playing football. So right after we were done, half the time I was leaving. So a lot of the after school programs, I really didn't get involved with until later on. And I remember half the time we would have to take the van to Gilbert Stewart just to play basketball, play football. But a lot of us, we don't want to go home. And we get the little lunches at San Miguel. We get the food here and there. And that was for some people in the class. That's all they were eating.
Yeah, that was one of them, man. I used
Mm-hmm.
to the Pop Top.
Yeah, and the apples, man.
The cinnamon Pop Tarts or the
Yep.
glazed donuts, man.
Mm-hmm. But it's good. Listen, I know you're giving back at San Miguel. Do you have any other places you're giving back to right now?
At this moment, not right now, but I mean, usually if people reach out to me, I always feel comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
going out of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
and going elsewhere. So I've been to Central Falls High School. I went out there. I talked to the kids over there. And it was real good over there because those kids are, you know, they're grown, you know, a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more grown, and they're at that point in their life where, you know, they need to be able to see different perspectives. You know, that's, you know, I'm talking to what, some sophomores, some juniors, you know. So like college is right around the corner, and like a lot of kids don't really know what they want to do, you know, and don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was, you know, that's one of the main things with kids. You ask them, you know, what is it you want to do, and a lot of them don't know. You know, even if I'm able to just to bless them and plant some seeds in their heads, you know, so you know they could have at least some type of idea, something, you
Yeah.
know, and you know, just, you know, based on my experiences and, you know, some of the poor decisions that I made, you know, I'm able to, you know, just share that experience with them, and let them know what it is. And also working in a prison, I could really let them know what it really is, because
What you see?
what I see, and also like, you know, I got into corrections at 19, so I was working at Wyatt,
Mm.
which is a private prison, but it's federally owned. So
Yeah.
I'm over here interacting with people from all around the world that have done all types of crazy stuff, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to always like, you know, I'll build a rapport with them, and a lot of them, you know, they knew my age, and you know that I was so young as a correctional officer. So like, I felt that I was able to ask them a lot of questions that maybe they wouldn't answer for other COs. You know,
Yeah, because you relate to them.
I ask them real questions, and like, you know, they'll tell me, they'll give me real responses. I'll be like, yo, like honestly, you know, um, tell me, I'll be like, yo, like tell me a little bit about your experiences and like what it really is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, yo, you know what, like everything I did is not even worth it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to people that sold drugs and made millions of dollars. Now they're looking at a 15 piece minimum, you know. People that, you know, millionaires, and even, you know, people that were gangsters or even organized crimes, people that traveled whole New England as a stick up crew. They had a crew dressed as officers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, knocking over you know, people who they knew who were drug dealers, and you know, getting into all types of crazy things, you know. So you know, when sometimes there was this dude, he was real big, and he was one of those organized crime
Mm-hmm.
criminals, you know. And at the end of the day, he was like, yo, the most important thing to me is my family, my kids, and I can't even see them because I'm in here.
Yeah.
You know, like we got people in here that are fighting over chicken on Wednesday.
Mm.
You know, like, and he was just really mentioning like the small things that matter. You know what I'm saying? If you
Mm-hmm.
could sit down and have a meal with your family and with your kids instead of having to see them through a glass. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because everybody that gets locked up and comes back out, they don't talk about that. They don't talk
Mm-hmm.
about how sick they were when, you know, they were in there, and you know, being under all that pressure, and you know, it's hard for them to be able to express that, you know. So you know, they were able to bless me with a lot of gems, you know. So I,
I,
I most out of that experience.
I know, like for me, like one of the reasons why I want to do this podcast is like I'm a diehard Kobe Bryant fan, and when he died last year, I realized like what I'm saying, we're not going to be here forever. So I want to put people around my son that I could be like, remember this person, remember that person, that are positive, because his vision of who he sees successful is what he sees on TV. So I want to give people that roses now who are around us to tell them I appreciate what they're doing. I want to spotlight positive people in Providence, in Rhode Island, and then even nationwide. Like I got a dude on coming on this week. He was in a movie just now with Spike Lee, and he was
So
my. I was in a Big Brother program, and he was my big brother. He just got a role with Spike Lee,
that's
and he's
dope.
it's called Son of the South.
Son of the
And
South.
Shaka Foreman. Yeah, it's on Amazon now. He's coming on later on this week.
It came out already.
Yeah, it's on Amazon now, and it's all about like the growing up being black in the '70s, And I'm like, yo, he's from Providence. He was my big brother when I was in Providence. And just so my son knows, that's the kind of people, you could be, you could do that. You can be that person. So you don't have to just say something from some Hollywood person you're never gonna meet, never gonna see.
Yeah, that's definitely true because I could relate to that, man, because I remember being back to some ago. We had Ryan Gomes, who's
Yeah,
with Boston Celtics,
yeah.
who came down, and it was cool because we was able to see a basketball superstar, and he was within our presence.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I couldn't really connect to like how you got there. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed so far,
Yeah.
So like I understand exactly what you're saying, having people, from the city and people that, you're really able to relate to, and that could really tell you what is it that you really gotta do in order to get to where where you want to be,
And
So
it's
I,
cool. Like,
I can relate to exactly everything you're saying, man.
I go to, we have season tickets at PC, so we go to all the games. And back there, got the picture with Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn?
Yeah, and he's in the NBA now, so my son knows him personally. But like, I'm a diehard sports fan, but my son's not a sports fan at all. He'll
Yeah.
go to the game for the popcorn. He don't care about the basketball game. So it's like I want to put people on that he can relate to for what he's doing. And so he's been doing the martial arts. He's been doing, and he's been picking up some other stuff. I'm like, find what you like to do. You chase your dream. You don't have to play a sport because I do.
Yeah.
So in your case, did you have boxing in your family?
No, not at all.
Nah.
Nah, not at all. It was just that I always wanted to learn how to fight just because I was always watching action movies. I used to love action movies.
Gotcha.
And all the action movies I was watching was and I used to watch Steven Seagal.
Cigar, yeah.
Seagal,
Yeah.
and the Jackie Chan movies, Jet Li, Bruce Lee. But I grew up in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have MMA, mixed martial arts, we didn't have that gym. We had a boxing gym right down the street.
Yeah.
And plus, like for martial arts, it's like $150 a month. My mom didn't think I was gonna be able to afford that.
Mm-hmm.
But the boxing gym, it was convenient. I used to get off the bus. I used to walk by all the time to get home. So I would stop there, get it in, and then just walk home. I didn't have to rely on my mom for transportation.
Yeah.
Which is the main thing, is transportation for kids who don't have a parent who could take them or doesn't have the time because they're working, So it was just convenient for me.
Now, did you know the MMA fighter Sean Soriano?
Sean Soriano. No.
He's about your age too. He went to Mount Pleasant, and he's from Providence. He does MMA, and he's from Providence. I think right around your same age, 32, 33. And he went down to Miami now. And I was showing my son one of his fights, and he was watching. And then I showed him some boxing. I showed him one of your fights, as a matter of fact. And he was like, "Boxing looks so much easier." I'm like, "Nah." I was like, "You would make." I forgot the fight now, but it was a dude kept messing with his mouthpiece, and he kept stopping the fight.
Oh yeah, that was my first fight. Yeah.
And then right after he came back, the ref stopped, and he came back. You just knocked him out. My son's like, "That looked easy." I'm like, "It definitely doesn't look easy," but like he's got me teaching him choke codes and other stuff, and he just wants now. I got a punching bag in the basement. He's been punching it. He's like, "Oh yeah, all I gotta do is punch somebody." I'm like, "There's so much more to it." So what's the conditioning like for you?
The conditioning, I try to do a little bit of everything,
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely running. Running is great. But when you run and you throw punches, it's a different type of conditioning. And it's a little awkward too at first, but you adapt and you get used to keeping your hands up.
Mm-hmm.
You think just holding your hands up is nothing, Go rub your hands up and throw punches.
Yeah.
See how you feel in 10 minutes into it,
Mm-hmm.
So I try to jump rope too, because every cardio got, something different that works, I feel like when I jump rope, it kind of works on my shoulders, my wrist, and my forearms,
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of jumping rope. And then the cardios, I kind of switch it up. I try to do like burnout drills, 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds relaxing. And then I have days when I just do 20 minutes straight, It all depends what I'm training for.
Mhm.
Mm. And at the gym where I'm at now, they have they got the turf.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm able to push the sleigh down. I run 6 flights of stairs. I'm running.
Now, what weight class you at now?
I fight 147.
147. All right. Yeah, because to me, like two way between there and 160, where that's where everyone wants to see. That's where all the big name boxing's at. Because
Yeah.
like I can't get into heavyweight boxing, man. I love the guys in that weight class. Now, you comfortable at that weight, or are you more comfortable a little bit heavier?
Um, I feel comfortable at 147. I feel like for me to fight at 54, I don't even gotta like really work hard to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not for nothing. Like I like to challenge myself, and like my trainer always tells me, he who was it how does it go? He who sacrifices the most gets the biggest prize. So I'm about what 6 feet. I'm a little tall for that weight class, but at the same time, it gives me the
That
reach.
reach. The reach, yeah.
So I'm sacrificing. I'm cutting weight, and I'm eating vegetables, and snacking on peanuts here and there, almonds.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I got that 24 hours. That 24 hours to put on a little bit more weight. To be the taller, stronger, longer opponent.
One thing I like about you too is like I was watching one of your videos. I just want to, I'm saying, learn before you came on, and I forgot the dude was who did an interview with you, but he asked you like what fighters you watch, and you didn't say nobody current. It was the Hagler and a bunch of older guys. So it's funny because these young kids are like, oh, who you want to be like in basketball? And it's all, Curry, Kyrie. They don't go back in the past. How come you're not watching none of the current guys?
I do watch the current guys.
Okay. You just don't want to give them their props?
Nah, just props to them. We have Dimitri Andrade from Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Tall, slick southpaw, Olympian. Right now it's just, it's hard for him to get fights. Nobody wants a piece of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like Crawford.
Yeah.
I like Crawford because he works hard, and he has a lot of dog in him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see fights where he took a couple, but he gives it back and he keeps pushing forward. And I seen him in real competitive fights, and he may not be like the smoothest, you can't touch him, like Mayweather, but you could tell he comes to fight,
Yeah.
But as far as the old school fighters, that's what I kind of grew up on. Every time I was at the Nickerson house, whether it was with Mr. Brown or after Mr. Brown was Floyd Brown, we would, they would always have old boxing clips playing, and he would always talk about him and Hearns and be like, yo, you remember me, him and Hearns, all skinny, and he hits hard, and he was aggressive. And then, of course, you mentioned him and Hearns, then you got to mention Hagler.
Hagler, yeah.
Gotta mention Sugar Ray Robinson, so as a kid, those were the guys that I was watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember like when they had the Fight Night video game. That's when I got big on a lot of the older boxers. I didn't know who half of them were, but I started playing the Fight Night game. And my older brother was trying to tell me how Roy Jones was the greatest thing ever. And he'll fight with me all the time. Roy Jones will beat Mayweather in the prime. And I'm just like, I don't know about that, but I think it's kind of changing now. So who do you, besides those two, like if you had to say like your dream opponent, you and your prime and them, who would you want to step in with?
My dream opponent?
Yeah.
My dream opponent, honestly, it would be Crawford. Crawford, just because nobody wants to get in with him. Like
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of big shots at 147.
Mhm.
Why are they calling on Crawford? Crawford is the pound for pound. He should be pound for pound if he's not rated pound for pound. And Pacquiao, man, because Pacquiao brings the heat, you know. So I like to test myself,
Mm-hmm.
see where I stand with these people who I consider to be at an extreme high level, you
Yeah.
know. So I box because I want to be able to get to that level, you know. I get into the like, you know, sometimes I'll get into the ring with Boo Boo, you know, and then I'll be like, all right, for whatever 3-4 rounds, whatever I'm doing with him, I'm gonna try to get him because
Yeah.
I wanna know where I stand, and at the same time, I wanna initiate him to not treat me, you know, like when I was an amateur, like I was an amateur. You know, I don't want you
Mm-hmm.
to treat me like I'm like I want to taste what a championship. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Now,
So,
can you see yourself ever fighting Boo Boo?
um, if he gives me the opportunity in the future
Because
before he retires, that'll be dope.
I know the two twins, man. They were saying about the twins should fight one day, but the older brother said he'll never fight his younger brother, but his younger brother says he wants it. Was it the Chavo twin? I'm like, I can't see it happening, but like that would be dope just to see, you know what I mean, see it for boxing. I think that's something boxing would want to see.
Yeah, I mean for boxing, yeah, boxing would love to see that. You know, they would love to see twins go at it. Yeah.
I mean, I like too when we had the contender in Manfredo. Have you ever touched paths with Manfredo?
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I got the opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
be a shadowing with Manfredo as well. Uh, both times for his last fight
Mm-hmm.
and for the fight when he was getting ready for Angel Camacho. They never ended up fighting, but I was able to get some work with Manfredo, man, and he got them sneaky left hooks to the body, man. Cause you know I'm taller, so I'm trying to throw the jab, and you know he's waiting for the jab, and he's dipping down, coming with the two left hooks, one to the
Mm-hmm.
body, one to the head, or vice versa, you know. So I try to take a little bit of something away from every style I encounter, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know
Manfredo,
that. I know
he's
you train with Big. You train with Big Six too. With him being in the Olympics, what has he taught you?
um uh training with Big Six. Um, I was able to learn a little bit about strength and conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my primary trainer was Paul Shorts.
Okay.
So most of the things I learned was from Stingray, you know, from Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And there, I'll get some pads from Jason Estrada. Um, for me, it was dope because not everybody gets to make it to the Olympics. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So to be able to, you know, be fighting and representing a gym with an Olympian, it was just it was inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I'm not there anymore, but when I was there,
So,
um, you know, I learned mindset. You know,
mm-hmm.
he used to always tell me, Vic, you can't always be a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? That's touching up on some of the things that you know you say about your son. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you got to change your mentality once you get into that ring. You know, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember I seen one of the ones you had a quote that said, "You're like when you're boxing, you're a humanitarian, and you want to finish him off early because you don't want to hurt the man." I'm like, that was like some classic Mike Tyson trash talk, though. And you talking, you got the Miguel man that you just seem so polite, you want to get back, but when you were jabbing at home, dude, like you just going to war, and that's like a hunger you have to have in boxing that's different.
yeah. Um, I mean, because everything I was taught, especially in school, was just to always be, you know, be a good person, you know, try to help one another out, you know, and then with boxing,
It's totally different.
the conflict of interest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I like to be out in the community and try to build, you know what I'm saying? So that's where my humanitarian comes out from. And I'm very like, you know, sympathetic, empathetic, you know, I could relate to a lot of people, and especially people, you know, in struggling situations. And, you know, it's funny because one day at the Nickerson, I had a friend of mine, and he was just trash talking me one day, and I knew, and he knew that he couldn't beat me, but for some reason, he wanted to trash talk me.
Mhm.
You know, as a kid, I had very little self control, so I said, "Oh yeah, so what's up? Let's glove up."
Mhm.
So we ended up sparring, and I knew that the trainer wasn't gonna allow us to spar.
Yeah.
I told him, "Oh, you go ask the trainer to spar. Now you to go tell me you want to spar me."
Yeah.
So then whatever, we sparred, and that day, and then we then ended up stopping the sparring because that made him bleed from the nose.
Mhm.
And then I felt a lot of remorse, man, because I knew that he wasn't no match for me, and although I felt embarrassed that he was talking trash to me,
Yeah.
should have known better. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt bad after I did what I did because I already knew that I could do this. So, you know,
Mhm.
and,
So
and
what?
I, I just felt like, I told him to go tell the trainer because I knew if I went to the trainer was gonna
What
say
are
no.
gonna happen? So what's next for you in 2021?
2021. Right now we're getting ready for March. I don't have an exact date,
Mhm.
but I mean, uh, right now I'm in the gym. I'm getting ready, for whatever's gonna happen in March. If it happens in March, if it doesn't happen in March, so be it. At the end of the day, everything is in God's hands. Um, and the good thing is I'm staying in shape. I'm eating healthy. I'm fitting at a Fight Factory in Warwick, and I have a strong team. I'm still with my day one trainer coach, Paul Shorts, who always believed in me from day one. I got Brian Panakia out there now, Fight Factory, and he's another OG, man. That's something I like. I like to be around, you
Definitely.
know, uh, honorable, respectable people that want to see you succeed, and that I'm a student of growth. You know,
Mhm.
I like to grow and I like to develop myself. I came from nothing. I want to be something, and I understand that I also have to be able to exercise my intellectual ability. So
Mhm.
I sometimes I ask a lot of questions because that's something I was taught to do in Senegal when
Yep.
you don't something, and I just want to better myself and grow. And in order to do these, you have to feel comfortable having a two-way communication street where you're able to ask questions and you're not kept in the dark, and these questions are going to be answered. Because at the end of the day, I'm working at Bridgewater. I work in a correctional facility. I'm in school. So all my free time I'm putting it into the gym, and sometimes I'm working on twice a day. I have days where I do fasting or I'm eating healthy. So like I put a lot into boxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting a lot into my career. This is my life, so it will behoove me to be as knowledgeable as I can in this field. Although I'm a
Definitely.
boxer and I'm a fighter, I would also like to be a little savvy and wise on the business aspect of it. I need someone who's gonna be able to show me and like guide me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I want to grow and develop and continue to develop. Some people live to the 80, but they die at 25. That's not gonna be
Mhm.
me. I always had the mentality that if you don't know how to do something, you're gonna ask questions, and no matter what, if you stick to it, you will develop and you will learn and you will, you
Grow.
know, grow, even
Yeah.
if it takes time. It is what it is.
I know you mentioned it earlier, but how proud is your mom right now?
My mom, she's proud of me. Uh,
Mhm.
she's never been into boxing.
Yeah.
She has yet been to one of my boxing fights. But I understand her perspective. And I appreciate having her because although she she's not into boxing and all that, she hasn't been to one of my fights, but she calls me every time I fight, after the fight, to see how I'm doing, how's it going. I don't come from a athletic family.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from DR, those weren't the dreams and goals of people over there, because everybody, was just working to get by.
Yeah.
Day, like I told you, man, electricity leaves all the time. Over here, I'm able to meal prep and pack for the week. There was no meal prepping and packing for the week. All the food is gonna go bad. They didn't even have enough money to even pack the refrigerator. So my mom is happy because of the man that I'm turning out to be. I go to schools and I talk to kids, and she sees that I'm in the community and I'm just putting out positive energy, and she's happy because of that.
Now, have you got a good reception in Providence too with the people?
I'm sorry.
You got a good reception when you fight locally in Providence?
Yeah. I like to think I have a big fan base, or
That's what's up.
it was something that it was kind of unexpected,
Mm-hmm.
But that to the social media, I would always post on my fights, but competing in the amateurs, I was always fighting in different states. I was going to nationals, Salt Lake, Utah, been to New Mexico, to Philadelphia for Olympic trials, New Mexico, Canada. So everybody would always show love, but I never really had anybody coming to my face because they were so far.
Mm-hmm.
That I finally turned pro, and I was like, "Yo, I'm fighting local." I was actually like, I was bombarded with how people came to the fight. I was in the ring and I'm hearing my name, So I appreciate all the love from people who have been following me and been wishing the best for me and have supported me. It means a lot to me because in the amateurs, it was just me and my trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I went somewhere, it was just me and him, and then so it means a lot having people cheer for you.
Yeah, like definitely, like this is my first time like checking your fights out, man. That's why I love social media the way it works. You definitely got two new fans of me and my son, and definitely next time you're local, wherever it's at, we gotta stream it. I mean, hopefully with COVID and everything else, we can get out there. But we'd love to go check you out if it's local. If not, we'll be watching on TV. Put it up. We'll find a way to watch it. You got two fans with us.
Thanks, man. I get the love, baby.
I was gonna say, like I was saying, my son's doing his black belt. So what do you tell that young fighter now at 9, 10 years old that you wish you knew back then?
I'll tell him that hard work, dedication, and consistency are the basic building structures to success.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what you do, you put those three together, you could go real far. And if you put your mind to it and you focus, you could achieve many things that you may not believe you could achieve. You could go very far with that.
All right, so we're almost about to wrap up. So at the end, we're just gonna ask a few rapid fire questions. So I ask you the question, the first thing that comes to your head, and then the first one, my son's a big Fortnite guy. So if you jump out of a plane, you gotta last on an island with you and 5 people for 1 week. Who you taking?
Me and 5 people. Oh man, that's a tough one. 5.
You gotta last for 1 week.
For 1 week. Oh man. Damn. Listen, man, this is a critical thinking question, man.
That's why those are rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire. Oh man, I don't even know, man. I'm shooting blank.
It's like one of my boys said, he's like, I'm just going by myself, so I know I'm gonna make it. So I'll skip down for now. Right. What's your if you're not training right now, what's your go-to meal if you wasn't training?
My go-to meal, it would be school, man. Although it's not right now at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
of long term. It's cool.
Oh no, my bad. Your go-to meal, if you could eat anything.
Meal. Oh, okay.
Yeah, meal. Yeah. Oh, you want school lunches? What?
Nah, I mean, I'm done with chicken patties.
Yeah, that nasty mayonnaise.
My go. Oh, you know what, man? Um, some I like
Oh,
Absara rice
yeah.
here in Providence. I like the shrimp fried rice with the crab ragoon, and it has to be sticky chicken wings, not regular chicken wings. They have to be with the sauce, with the sticky sauce.
If you can, if you can fight in any venue in the world, what would you fight?
Menu. Um, it would be dope to fight in Boston.
Boston, TD Bank.
Yeah, TD. Just because this is where I'm from, this area,
Mhm.
If it would be dope to fight in Vegas, but for me, it'll be a lot more dope to have my people there with me.
Yeah. And what are you listening to while you're training?
Um, Listen, man, I like to listen to Pop Smoke when I train. It's just that vibe,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm turned up, but some some Pop Smoke, something that gets me going.
And finally, I mean, I know you kind of touched on it earlier, but you want to leave the young people any more advice before we wrap up?
Um, yeah. At the end of the day, it's your life. Uh, don't allow anybody to define you. You define yourself by the way you present yourself and by your character. Don't let no one define you. You define yourself by how you carry yourself and the energy that you put out.
One thing, man, I want to say, man, I was about to say something. You touched on it for me, but when you're talking about defining yourself, we could have sat here and talked boxing for an hour, but that's not who you are. That's not why I want to have you on as the person. Like you're not a boxer. You're just a great man, period. And boxing is just one of the things that you do, but that doesn't define the character and the person that you are. I don't define the humanitarian you are. I don't combine the Miguel man you are. I don't define the person from Providence who's giving back. Like anybody could be a boxer if they train hard enough. It takes hard work, but to be a boxer and it still come back and give back to the community, that's what separates you in my view. And that's why I definitely want to have you on and give you your roses. Because there's a lot of people out there fighting who say they want to be a champion, they want to go after this person. But what are you doing for the community? What are you doing for the younger ones? And at a young age, you're doing that already. And especially with 2020, with everything that went on, we need more people like you who are hungry, giving back, and just being a positive impact like young people.
Thank you, man. That means a lot, man, and
I appreciate it.
that inspires and motivates me to keep going and to keep pushing, man. Thank you. Fuck.
But thanks again, man. Definitely we'll be in touch, man. We'll be talking on social media. When that fight comes out, we'll be front and center, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the love, man. Thank you.
Definitely. Say bye, man.
Take care. All right, little man.